Welcome to Change Starts Here, a Franklin Covey education podcast for K-12 leaders driving meaningful change through bold thinking, real stories, and proven strategies for lasting impact. Now here's your host, Dustin Odham.
January is a strange month. It's supposed to feel like a clean slate, a reset, a fresh start, a new calendar, new goals, new expectations. But for many educators, January doesn't feel new at all. It feels rushed. It feels heavy. And if we're honest, it often feels like expectations show up way before our energy ever does. You just came out of December, a month that demanded everything from you, emotionally, physically, mentally. December isn't just busy, it's relational. It's intense. It's the weight of deadlines and data mixed with performances, holidays, family dynamics, and 1,000 moments where you showed up for others, even when your own tank was nearly empty. And then the calendar flips, and suddenly, everyone's supposed to be ready to go. Meetings return, initiatives restart, momentum is expected. And you're standing there thinking, I'm present, but I'm not sure I'm fully restored yet. Welcome back to the Change Starts Here podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Odham. If you're not already, please follow or subscribe wherever you listen. As we step into this new year together, especially here in the first week of January, I want to offer something different. Not more motivation, not louder urgency, not another push to do more. I want to talk about something far more powerful than any of those things. Resetting before you sprint. Let me say this clearly. January is not where burnout begins. January is where burnout is revealed. It shows up when leaders feel behind before the year has ever really started, when the pace accelerates, but the purpose feels unclear. When you're moving fast, but you're not actually confident you're moving in the right direction. January exposes the cost of running hard for a long time without ever slowing down long enough to ask, what actually matters next? And this is where many well-intentioned leaders get it wrong. We treat January like a starting gun, instead of what it really should be, a checkpoint, a moment to pause, to assess, to breathe, to decide intentionally, how will we lead the months ahead? Because when leaders sprint without resetting, pressure multiplies. And that pressure never stops with us. It's always transferred to the people we lead. At Franklin Covey, we often come back to a simple but powerful truth. How we see determines what we do, and what we do determines what we get. If we see January as a pressure cooker, we'll lead with urgency, stress, and control. If we see January as a reset point, we'll lead with clarity, trust, and focus. Same calendar, same challenges, same people, completely different leadership. So the most important question for you right now isn't, what do I need to do this semester? The most important question for you right now is, how do I choose to see this semester? Because your paradigm, your lens will quietly shape every conversation, every decision, every meeting, and every moment of leadership that follows. Here's the tension that most leaders feel in January. You care deeply, you want results, you want momentum, you want progress that actually matters. Yet at the same time, you know many of your people are very tired. Great leaders understand something critical. January is not the time to pile on. It's the time to lead with clarity. Clarity builds trust. Trust creates safety, and safety is what brings people back to life. One of the most powerful leadership decisions you will make this year isn't adding something new. It's clearly naming what matters most and giving people permission to focus. That's not lowering the bar. That's honoring capacity. And honoring capacity is what great teams sustain excellence over time. I want to be transparent with you. There have been many seasons in my life where January meant one thing and one thing only: discipline. More goals, more structure, more intensity. I'm even thinking about people who I used to lead, probably laughing right now. Sometimes that worked, but it also taught me a hard lesson. Intensity without intention always leads to exhaustion. What changed everything for me was learning to lead myself with the same wisdom I was trying to offer to others. I realized January didn't need a harder version of me. It needed a clearer one. A leader who knew when to push and when to pause. A leader who understood that clarity is not the enemy of urgency. It's the foundation for it. So let me challenge you just for this week. Before you finalize your plans, launch your initiatives, before you ask your people to do more, just pause and reflect on these questions that I've been asking myself. And if any of these questions resonate with you, please hop into the comments and share some of your leadership, because we're going to grow stronger together. So the first question is, what truly deserves our best energy this semester? Not all of our energy, not leftover energy, your best energy. Because when everything is important, nothing actually is. Second, what can we let go of for now without guilt? Not forever, just long enough to breathe. Letting go isn't quitting. Sometimes it's actually choosing wisely. And third, how do I want my people to feel working with me this month? Because people don't just remember what we asked them to do. They remember how our leadership felt. January doesn't ask us to be perfect. It asks us to be present, to be intentional, to be courageous enough to lead with clarity. The year doesn't change people. It's leaders that change people. And change still starts right here. Thank you for stepping into this new year with me. If this episode resonated with you in any way, I encourage you to follow or subscribe to the Change Starts Here podcast. Every week, we're trying to take time to reflect, refocus, and lead with greater intention. And if you're willing, share this episode with a colleague who might be carrying the weight of January too. The sprint will come. You know it will. February, March is a sprint. But first, let's reset. And let's keep leading forward together.
Franklin Covey Education is a trusted partner in developing leaders from the classroom to the boardroom in over 8,000 schools in over 70 countries.